Hi everybody, welcome to another week of Makers Monday. I am Anastasia Radloff, aka Stampin' Blondie, and I'm coming to you from a very hot Tucson, Arizona. It is currently about 106 degrees outside, so very hot, but luckily we have finally received our very first monsoon storm of the year. I am so excited about that. If you aren't too familiar, Arizona really only gets rain during the summer seasons, and we have what we call monsoons. And so they're big storms that come through and just dump a whole bunch of rain, and that's how the wildlife survives out here. So monsoon season normally starts around June 15th, I think, but today we finally got our very first monsoon season storm. So thankful we have some rain. Hopefully my power doesn't go out. Sometimes that can happen during storms, but we will continue on, and if it does, this is all recorded, so just in case something happens. So hello Barb, hello Carol, thanks for watching. Let me just make sure that I am live over here on Facebook. Looks like I'm live on YouTube because I can see your comments. So looks like I am also live over on Facebook. So we are good to go today. Now I'm going to be creating 3 projects from the It's a Science stamp set. This is a really fun stamp set from our annual catalog. It includes both the images and sentiments, and what I really love about it is that it has punny sentiments to go along with it. Now this stamp set is a standalone stamp set, meaning it does not have any coordinating dies, punches, designer series paper, but sometimes that's really fun because then you can pull items from different suites and coordinate those with the projects that you create. So that's what I'll be using today. I'll be pulling from many different suites that we have and different supplies to really get those fun projects for Makers Monday today. All right. Hi, Nancy, Carol, Penny. Thanks for watching. Penny, you got rain at your house too? Yes, I am so excited. Like, people that don't live in the desert don't understand. You have probably seen rain maybe once a week, a couple times a week. We haven't seen rain for months. That's how it is here. So when we get rain, it is quite a big deal. So you will understand how excited I am about just a little bit of rain that we got today. All right, let's go ahead and swap the camera. I have a couple things to go over before we jump into our projects. So the first thing is just announced this afternoon by Stampin' Up. I haven't even had time to do an email or any kind of post about it yet, but this coming Wednesday, the 19th, Stampin' Up is having a 24-hour stamp sale. So you can get 15% off all of the stamps in the annual catalog. Now, our Stampin' Rewards stamps, which are called host stamps, those are not eligible, and neither are our bundled stamp sets where it is a stamp set and a die. But the individual stamp sets from that bundle would be 15% off. So all of our catalog stamps, so including the one that I'm going to be creating with here today, will be on sale for Wednesday, 24 hours only for our stamp sale. Now, if you use host code that is posted down here below and you place an order of $35 or more, I will send you today's Makers Monday projects. So don't forget to use that host code. All the details I'll post on Facebook here, and I'll send out an email. So if you are not on my email newsletter, there is a link in the description of this video that you can subscribe, and you get first notification on classes that I teach, events that I host, and normally promotions like this. But like I said, Stampin' Up just put this out this afternoon, so I wanted to get that to you today during Makers Monday. So this coming Wednesday, only 24-hour stamp sale. Now, our online exclusive stamp sets, those are not included, just the ones that are in the annual catalog. So the one that I'll be featuring here today is also going to be 15% off. All right, so next up I have my July card class to go. Registration is still open for this. This features the Reach for the Stars bundle. So here is that stamp set that you have for that class. The Reach for the Stars stamp set is a cling mount stamp set, so your traditional red rubber. Again, this is found in the annual catalog too, so you can get this if you want to register for this class. You can get this stamp set 15% off. It also has coordinating dies to go along with it. Now this is a card class to go, meaning there is no class date. You work on these projects on your own time. So perfect if you are very busy and you still want to craft, but you may not be able to attend an in-person class that I host or a virtual class. So the card class to go includes a full project PDF tutorial with step-by-step directions on how to put together all of the projects. You make it 8 projects, 4 different designs to each of those designs. Now in your class kit, you receive a half package of the Stargazing Designer Series paper. Now this is beautiful designer series paper. One side has these really fun and bright like solar system looks. You've got a bunch of star paper here with these bright planets. And then on the other side, you have bright project pieces as well, but more of a brighter, bolder side here. So you receive a half a package of the Stargazing Designer Series paper. You also receive a half a package of the Holographic Specialty Designer Series paper. Now this paper is found in our annual catalog. It's kind of hard to find. It is a hidden gem in there, but it has 3 different colors and different patterns. So this one is more of like a zigzaggy pattern. You have kind of a gorgeous grape, blackberry bliss, and then your traditional silver holographic. So you'll receive a half a package of this. This is a quarter package, so you'll receive 6 by 12 pieces of this specialty paper, and then you'll also receive a full package of the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. You can see I already love these gems, so I've used about half of the package already, but you'll receive a full package of the Tinsel Gems 4-pack in your class. Now I'll show you the 2 projects that I designed. I am co-hosting this event with Leanne Curvin. We are the Bestie Stampers. So she created 2 projects, I designed 2 projects, and then you'll create those 4 in your class. So here are the 2 that I created. Now this is a Z-fold card. I just have it kind of glued shut because I took pictures of it this way, but it is a Z-fold card. So you'll use that holographic paper on your projects, and you'll create some very fun, bright and bold projects. Now the deadline to register for this class is July 28th, and the details on how to register for it and everything that's included, there is a link in the description of this video here, and you can sign up to create with us on your own schedule. All right, I think that's it. The last thing I have is Prize Patrol. So each week I do something called Prize Patrol. If you're not too familiar with it, all you have to do is share this video, comment that you shared, and then you're entered into Prize Patrol. So last week I created projects for my annual Christmas in July Makers Monday, and the Prize Patrol were the festive pearls. It may not be easy to see on the camera, but these pearls are gold, silver, like a soft seafoam color, and then underneath here is red. So these are perfect for creating your holiday projects or just using on any kind of project that you would like. Now the winner of last week's Prize Patrol is Elizabeth Merkel, so congratulations, Elizabeth. I am not sure if I have your address, so make sure to send me a message with your address and I will pop this in the mail for you. Now this week's Prize Patrol is a fun project so that you can create 3D gifts for your friends. These are the embossed treat bags. You get 10 bags and they're already pre-scored and ready to be designed with. So they have embossing on the front. There's just straight lines, kind of hard to see with the camera and the plastic, but there's straight embossing lines across these treat bags. They pop up to be about this wide, and they're quite deep, so you can put any kind of treat packaging in here, or treats to go along with these. So all you have to do is share this video, comment that you shared, and you're entered into this week's prize patrol. These are really great for dressing up for a variety of occasions, and you get 10 bags in there. So perfect if you're hosting an event to be able to gift a little something to all of your participants. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this week's Makers Monday. It's a science stamp set, traditional red rubber cling mount stamp set. This has 11 stamps and includes both images and sentiments, my very favorite type of stamp set. Now, what originally caught my eye on this is the punny sentiments. I love a good punny sentiment. They remind me of dad jokes, and I loved my dad's jokes. So it's a science stamp set. So we're gonna create 3 projects here today, and we're gonna make a really fun card here with this cutout using window sheets. So I don't use window sheets very often, so I'm excited to show you guys how easy it is to put this window sheet project together. And you have a little cutout at the top there, so we'll create that. A you plus me equals chemistry. Now, I was a 90s kid, I will admit, and there was a song that was you plus sign equal sign me is us, and the whole song was about chemistry and calculus, and so this stamp set reminded me of that, so I had to do these fun little atom shapes to go along with it. And then probably my favorite card today, because it has some sparkle and shimmer and shine. This says it's your birthday, you can overreact, and it has all of these beakers overreacting with different chemicals. So very fun projects today. Now, don't forget, if you want to create these Makers Mondays projects, you can place an order on my website of $35 and I will send you this week's kits. This is what it looks like. It has all of your project pieces to be able to create the projects. The only thing you need to do is add stamps and ink. Per Stampin' Up! Policy, no stamped images will be in these kits. But if you also place an order of $50 or more, I will send you a free package of the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. So the class for the Reach for the Stars is the Tinsel Gems 4-pack. These are the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. And you get this free if you place an order of $50 or more on my website. Plus, make sure, don't forget that stamp sale, so you can combine everything and get even more bang for your buck. All right, we are gonna create this fun project first. Now, don't forget, on my website each week, I have a free project PDF tutorial. Stampinblondie.com posts every Monday that I have Makers Monday. This has all of the item names, numbers, prices, and the dimensions on the 3 projects that I'm creating here today. So you can print that out, follow along with Makers Monday, and create your own Makers Monday projects as well. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So this first project features Berry Burst as our card base and the new Soft Shimmer Specialty Designer Series paper. Now these are all the 5 colors that are in the paper pack. Now I like this soft shimmer paper because it doesn't flake off. Now, if you follow me, you know I have no loose glitter in my craft room at all. So this paper does not flake off. It's not super gritty like some glitter paper can be. It is very soft, hence the name Soft Shimmer, and very easy to cut and work with. So here you can see the shimmer and shine on those very fun colors. And I wanted to feature all 5 colors from that on my project. So I based my card here off of these 5 colors from the paper. So we have a piece of Berry Burst cardstock, basic white, and a circle cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. We also have a piece of Bubble Bath cardstock that we'll be using. And I need to grab here my scratch paper because we're gonna be doing some fun different techniques. with this. So just a fun scratch paper to cover your workspace. The first thing we're gonna do is we're going to fold our piece of Berry Burst cardstock. This is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Again, all the dimensions are on that free project PDF tutorial, so you don't have to write any of that down. And we can put that off to the side. We have a piece of basic white cardstock, and what we're gonna do, I'm gonna move some of this out of the way because what we're gonna do is kind of messy here. So let's grab our markers. Now, these are the new Stampin' Write markers. They come individually, or you can get a combo pack with all of them. So our Stampin' Write markers have changed design this year. Previously, the writing tip end, it was not good. It dried out very quickly, and it was very frustrating because you can only buy these in multi-packs, and so if one marker would dry up, then you would have issues. So I love these new markers because the end of them, the writing end, is much better, and it doesn't dry out that I found. I would get brand new markers and have problems with the drying out of them. So our new markers, we still have that brush end, and the writing tip is just a little bit different. It is more of a, not a nub, it's like a nub. Before it was more of like a pen end, so that is much better. Now I'm going to be using Lost Lagoon, and the difference between our Stampin' Write markers and our Stampin' Blends markers. Stampin' Write marker, the ink in there is the same ink as our ink pads, where Stampin' Write markers are alcohol-based ink. So I would not use Stampin' Blends to color on your stamps, but Stampin' Write markers you can because it's the same ink as your ink pads. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, this is the Lost Lagoon marker, and I'm gonna take the bigger brush end, and I like to do this splatter technique with these markers. So you can see the background of my card here. Let's kind of get that in shot a little closer. You can see all these little splatter marks here. So what I did is I just took the brush end of my marker and I flicked it on the inside cap of this, and I got splatter onto my project. So that's why you want to make sure your workspace is covered. Now, just a disclaimer, when you do this, you don't want to press too hard on your brush tip because it could damage it. So just light flicks across the paper will give you the image that you need. Now, if you really like to make Halloween cards and you're kind of into the gory images and that kind of stuff, this looks really cool with the Real Red marker, and you can kind of do like a blood splatter effect on the background with Real Red. So just a thought there if you like to make those type of cards. So here's what it looks like. It is just a soft splatter in the background. I didn't want such a stark white background. It needed something. So this splatter technique is great because you just get a fun little effect back there, and any skill level can do that. So it's very easy. Now we are gonna take our soft shimmer paper, and this is just 1/2 inch by 6 inches. I know it's longer than my paper, but I did that on purpose because we're gonna trim the edges, and I wanted to make sure that these will line up great with some along the edge. So I'm just going down from darkest, kind of like almost rainbow order, without your Roy G. Biv normal colors. And once you have it all lined up how you want it, you can take your multi-purpose glue, and I'm just going to take the top one off and run a strip of liquid glue, and then add our first layer of glitter paper right across there. Now the rest of them can come off because we're just going to now take our liquid glue and do little strips right along that, and we're gonna butt up to that previous piece of paper. So you don't need a lot of glue, just a very thin strip will work. These are very thin strips of paper, and the back of these are white. So it's like a coated white background, so very easy to be able to adhere these down. And I'm just running that and just kind of working my glue and paper along the edge. Okay, there we go. Now once everything is glued on there exactly how you want it, you're gonna take your scissors, flip it over, and we're just gonna trim the excess pieces flush with that piece of basic white. So this is really fun. You can do this with so many different scrap pieces of cardstock, of designer series paper you may have. This is a great layout for Christmas projects, but that is the start of our background right there for our card. All right, clean some of this up. And we have our die cut piece of basic white cardstock. This is with the Stylish Shapes dies. This is the largest circle that comes in that die set. And we're gonna just bring back our scratch paper in case our stamp goes to the edge. And we're gonna use this beaker set. Now I have seen some demonstrators cut their stamps apart so they can use these individually. For me, cutting my stamps really just hurts my heart. So I keep it all together, and then if I want to only use a specific beaker, I can stamp that image just with some ink, maybe wipe off the rest with a baby wipe, and then stamp. So we're gonna use our Tuxedo Black Memento ink because we are gonna color our stamp in. And this is just gonna line up right across the bottom of our circle, right there. We are going to stamp. We have these little, where are they at? They're like these little bubbles. There they are. These little bubbles here. And we're gonna stamp this to coordinate with our colors. So we're gonna use Berry Burst, Bubble Bath, Lost Lagoon, and Pretty Peacock for all of our colors here. Now let me grab my stamp cleaner because we're gonna clean that off in between our images. There we go. And I'm using my Stampin' Scrub. This is how I clean off my stamps in between uses. So Stampin' Mist will go on one side. This is the wet side. And then the other side is dry for you to be able to clean off your stamps. So Berry Burst is our first one. We're gonna lightly tap our bubbles and then stamp that right above. Now we're gonna clean our stamp and then repeat with the next colors. So next up is our Bubble Bath. Light taps. There we go. I love being able to use these stamps with different color inks and get some different fun images with them. And then coloring it in really brings these to life. So Lost Lagoon is our next one here. And then Pretty Peacock for that last one. Okay. Hi Courtney, glad you're watching. Thanks for sharing my video. I hope you like the projects today. All right, now we're gonna color these in. Normally I would color them in with Stampin' Blends, but because I have all these beautiful markers already out, we are just gonna color them in with our Stampin' Write markers. So Stampin' Write markers can be used to color in just like our Stampin' Blends. So I'm just gonna quickly color these in. Now, unfortunately, these do not blend. You don't have a light and a dark color like your Stampin' Blends, but these work perfectly great too if you are a beginner stamper and looking for inks without having to buy all the ink pads. These markers are great because they are dual purpose. You can color in your stamped images and then you can also color in your on your stamp. So that's how I started out as a new stamper. I did not have all the ink pads. I just got the markers and I used the markers as my quote stamp pads, my ink pads, so that I could still color in and use all of these until I slowly built up my ink pad collection. So just a thought, if you are wanting all of the, oh, that's Melon Mambo. If you want all of the ink pads, but maybe it's just not in your budget, think about these Stampin' Write markers. All right, and our Berry Burst for our last beaker. And I'm just doing a quick color in of all of these. There we go. And I can put that off to the side. All right, now we can build our card. So for our background piece here, I'm just gonna use some Stampin' Seal adhesive to add that down to my Berry Burst card base. And it's gonna go right in the middle. Our die cut circle, we're gonna put this on with Stampin' Dimensionals. And that's gonna go right across those strips of shimmer paper. Right there. And then our bubble bath piece, we're gonna stamp this sentiment using Tuxedo Black ink. And like I said earlier, it says, it's your birthday, you can overreact, which goes perfect with those images that are on the card. Stamp that right in the middle there. And this is gonna go, we're gonna trim the edges at an angle. Just a quick cut on those. And that's gonna go on with, one side is gonna go on with a dimensional, the other side is gonna go on with liquid glue. So because this is already popped up, the left side of the sentiment, we're gonna add with some liquid glue, and then the right side with a dimensional. This is gonna make sure that our sentiment is flush with that circle piece. If I was to add dimensionals on both sides, you would have one side that is like 2 dimensionals high and the other that is just 1. So this makes it all level with each other. And then our final bit, we're gonna come in with 3 of the tinsel gems, and we're gonna use 2 of the small ones up here and 1 down there. And that is our first project today with the It's a Science stamp set. And I really love this soft shimmer paper. When I first opened that for my paper share and I saw what that looked like, I was like, I'm gonna have to buy more of this because I really like the way that turned out. So very fun project. Let me know what you guys think about that one. I love it. I love it. The colors are just, I wouldn't have thought to put Berry Burst and Bubble Bath together with Lost Lagoon, Pumpkin Pie, and this is Night of Navy down here. So just a fun way to use the paper as an inspiration for your projects. All right, next up is this one. We're gonna do some fun kind of ombre stamping here. Now this one uses some colors that are in different color families. So we're gonna use Crushed Curry from our Regals. We're gonna use Flirty Flamingo from Brights, Coastal Cabana from Brights, and then Berry Burst is also from Brights. So kind of a fun color scheme. Again, just bringing in those different colors, but we're gonna need our scratch paper. And for this project, let me find my kit. Here we have a piece of basic black cardstock and a piece of basic white, another circle die cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. This is the smallest circle, so our previous card had the largest, this is the smallest. This is from the, I think it is called the, let me make sure, Country Gingham, is it? Glorious Gingham. This is the Glorious Gingham Designer Series paper. This comes in 5 different colors for your projects. And we're also going to use, this is on the clearance rack. This is the Flirty Flamingo metallic ribbon. It's 1/4 inch wide, and I think it's like $3 for a whole roll right now. So a great deal. But check out the clearance rack because there are some great stamp sets and dies, embellishments on there. I love shopping from the clearance rack to get a good deal on things, but that whole roll, maybe it's like $2-3 right now. Very, very good. All right, we're gonna take our basic white piece and we're gonna use this stamp set that kind of looks like Adams. And we're gonna start from the top with crushed curry and then just do a random stamping onto our paper here. So we are gonna create a fun patterned background as we work our way down our project here. So again, clean off your stamps, and then we're gonna move on to Flirty Flamingo. So lots of ink colors today for the projects, but this stamp set really kind of screamed, use all these different colors with me, and I obliged. I love creating with all these different colors and different color families and just kind of bringing them all together. All right, Coastal Cabana is next, and we're just creating our own designer series paper. Like I mentioned, this stamp set does not have any coordinating products to go with it. It is going to be a great way for you to be able to just spark your creativity. All right, and then Berry Burst is our last one here, and we're just stamping little parts of that. Yes, clearance rack plus flash sale equals winning. Like I said earlier, get the most bang for your buck on all of these supplies. All right, we're gonna stamp the clipboard. So here's the little clipboard stamp that comes in there. We're also going to do the one that says you plus me equals chemistry, and that will be in Berry Burst and Tuxedo Black. So we'll stamp our clipboard first so we know where to stamp our sentiment. So right in the middle here, that. This fits the clipboard perfectly for that small little circle. And then our sentiment, oops, stuck on there. That may be a lot. I put a lot of ink on there. Let me clean that off. Just light tap. My Berry Burst is really juicy. All right, that's gonna go in the middle. And because when I was creating this project, I tried it out and I thought, you know, you have your white circle against your white paper. It really needed something to kind of make that circle pop. So what we're gonna do is we are taking that crushed curry ink and a blending brush. So these are the Stampin' Up! Blending brushes. They come in a 3-pack, I think. And they're great because you can wash them out with just a soap and a little bit of water, get it completely clean, and you can reuse these with different ink pads. Now, I like to try to keep my ink pads together with my blending brushes, so I have one dedicated blending brush for my inks so I don't try to cross-contaminate colors. But our crushed curry, we're gonna take our blending brush and you swirl it in the ink pad. You just kind of want to tap it off on your spare piece of paper a little bit and then just swirl the ink around, and it just gives a nice subtle ink to the die cut. I didn't want it to be a yellow piece of paper, so I still want some of that white to show through. If I had wanted it fully yellow, I would have used yellow cardstock, but I just want a little bit of ink on to my paper, and it just takes it to the next level. And then once it's against that white, it really just kind of makes it pop a lot more. So a very easy technique if you're putting together cards and you're like, man, this looks too samesies. I need something to make this stand out. Try using the blending brushes with a little bit of ink, and it'll make that pop against whatever you're working on. All right, we're gonna take our strip of designer series paper, and on the back of our stamped cardstock, we're just gonna add a really thin strip of glue, and we're gonna adhere that to our Berry Burst designer series paper. So that'll go along here. Yes, plus bonus days. Thank you, Barb. So you have clearance rack, you have the stamp sale, plus the bonus days. So for every $50 you spend, you get a $5 coupon to use in August. So bunch of ways to stretch those dollars and get some good supplies. Plus, if you spend $50, you get my free embellishment this week too, and the class kit. Even more fun. All right, we're gonna use our Stampin' Dimensionals on the back here to make this pop. So we've added those. Again, I love Stampin' Dimensionals. You can never have too many dimensionals on a project. This really helps take it to the next level for all skill levels. So you don't even have to have, well, you kind of have to have a skill level to put it on straight, unlike me. Can't put things on straight, apparently. There we go. It's usually I craft like right in front of me, and if I did that, you guys wouldn't be able to see anything, so it's a little hard to craft at arm's length away from you. We've got our piece of die cut paper with that crushed curry ink on it, and we're just gonna add a couple dimensionals to the back of that. And that's gonna go right here on the front. Our clearance rack ribbon. Again, it's got some fun gold metallic in it, so it really makes it pop against the card too. So we're gonna tie that into a bow. See if I can get this to work. There we go. And the best way to adhere this ribbon is with a mini glue dot. It's a cotton ribbon, and it has that metallic threading through it, so it's not super flimsy, but because it's more of like a loose weave, if you were to use liquid glue on it, it could kind of ooze through. So mini glue dots are the best way to add this to your card. I'm just gonna take my take your pick tool apart because we're gonna use that spatula end. So a glue dot right at the bottom of our clipboard. And then we're gonna use 3 of the gems on the card. Now these are more of a purpley kind of gem. That's okay. It still works for this project because we have that Berry Burst on there. They're kind of 2 different purples, but it still will look great. And that is our second card with the It's a Science stamp set. Very fun, easy. You can choose whatever kind of ink color you want for this project. And again, love that punny sentiment on there. All right, our last project today is this fun window sheet card. If you've never worked with window sheets before, I think we're all old enough to remember overhead projectors in the classroom. And overhead projectors, we would always use those really thick, clear plastic sheets, and that is what window sheets remind me of. It is acetate, so it is a thicker paper. It is plastic, so it's not really paper, but it is really fun to be able to create see-through projects with them. Now Stampin' Up! Sells them. You get 2 sheets, 12 by 12 for $5. So that is actually a really great deal because I have had these window sheet pieces for a long time. And those 2 pieces of 12 by 12 have lasted me forever. I mean, I rarely make window cards, but I'm telling you, this $5 has been well spent. So here's my window sheet. You probably can't see it very well because it's completely see-through and clear. But we have a piece of blueberry bushel cardstock. Now this is 4 inches or 4 1/4 by 6 3/4, I think. Let me just tell you the right thing. Yes, 4 1/4 by 6 3/4. So basically I took a 4 1/4 by 11 sheet of cardstock, so half of a piece of cardstock. I scored it at my normal 5 1/2, and then I just lined it up to 6 3/4 and cut. Now this is that other piece that's on there. Now of course you're missing the middle, but this is the piece that I cut off, and then I trimmed this as well. So basically you're using almost the entire sheet of cardstock. You have a little strip left over, but you can reuse that for other projects as well. Okay, let's get some of this out of the way here. So we're going to take our piece of blueberry bushel first, and we're going to fold over the top and use our bone folder to score our line here. Now I'm going to take my multi-purpose liquid glue. Some people use Stampin' Seal Plus for this project, but I like to use multi-purpose liquid glue just in case my window sheet is not exactly where I want it. I have a few seconds to kind of shift and shimmy my paper around. Now you can see I am not going all the way to the edge with my glue, top, bottom, and sides, because this piece, our window sheet, does not go all the way to the top and bottom. So you don't want to add glue all the way to the edge, just right in the middle, because the window sheet, you can get it squared up here. That's why I like the liquid glue. I have a few seconds to kind of move everything around the window sheet. Then will only go up to the top a little bit, so it doesn't go all the way up. Now our second piece here, this is going to go on the back side of that window sheet, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're just going to add a little bit of glue in the middle, not too close to the edge. I'm going to open this up, and this is going to lay right on top of that piece there. And I want to make sure that this is also lined up at the bottom to my card. So you may have to just kind of move everything around just to get it all lined up. With that glue, you have a few seconds. You can peel it apart if you need to, like I'm going to do. And then you can just kind of close it back on there. So now we have the kind of outline of our project. You can see this is what it looks like. You have that peekaboo area there, and you just want to kind of push everything down to make it adhere. We have 2 strips of designer series paper. This is actually from the stargazing paper that I showed you earlier. That's part of July's card class to go. And we're gonna add glue to the back of this, and this is gonna cover up right on the edge of our window sheets. So that's going to cover that up right here, and this will go right towards the bottom of our window sheet. So it's like it's not even there. And then you add that right on top. So then you have your 2 pieces are like they're matted. So you have your blueberry bushel in the back, your designer series paper, and then your window sheet is right on the inside there. All right, we're going to work on the inside of our card. So I'll show you a couple tricks to get this all lined up right for your window there. So first, we're gonna adhere our piece of basic white right to the inside of our card. Now, normally we would stamp first, and then we would adhere this to the card inside if we were doing any other type of card. But we want to make sure that we're stamping right here so that it shows through. So what I found is these are just Post-it notes that I've cut up, and what I did is I took one Post-it note and sticky side up. So you want sticky side up there, and you're just gonna put that right up against that blueberry bushel, and you're gonna close your card on top of it. So that's gonna give you your top. You don't wanna stamp any higher than where your Post-it is. Same thing on the other side. You're going to add your other piece of Post-it, sticky side up, and close. And that is exactly right where you want to stamp. So there's no guesstimating of, oh, I need to flip this back and forth and try to get my stamp right underneath there. So this is exactly where you want to stamp. So when you close it, see, you can't even see the Post-it notes because that's where you're going to be stamping your sentiment at. Now I have, my sentiment says, let's celebrate. So we have C-E-L-L, ebrate. And we're going to stamp that with our Lemon Lime Twist ink pad. And that's going to go right in the middle of that area here. I'm just going to bring it a little closer so I can see and stamp right there in the middle. So we've got that. Now our two pieces here, we are going to take our sticky, because it doesn't matter anymore, you can lift up your piece of sticky note because you know exactly where you want to stamp, but we're just going to line that up on the side, and we're going to stamp this little design here. So blueberry bushel, we're going to stamp our little cell, and that's going to go on that side. And then just down here, it doesn't matter because it can be seen there. And then you can peel up all of your sticky notes, and when you close it, you can see exactly the sentiment right there in the middle. So a great use of sticky notes. We all have these around our house. Perfect for crafting, to be able to get exactly where you want to stamp right there. And they're reusable. You can use them over and over until they lose their tackiness. Our outside, we have a piece of basic white cardstock. Again, Stylish Shapes dies. So we have circles, squares, banners. This is from that Stylish Shapes. And we're gonna use the microscope here with our Tuxedo black ink. And we're gonna stamp it right in the middle of that die cut piece. So make sure it's all inked up. And I may stamp out of the camera view just because this is a small die cut. It's like almost the exact size. So I want to make sure I got right in the middle. So there we go, right for our microscope. Now we're going to color this in with Stampin' Blends. Now I used the markers for the last project, our Stampin' Write. I'm just going to use Stampin' Blends because I don't have, actually I do have these colors in Stampin' markers, but I wanted to use Stampin' Blends too. Now we're not going to color in the entire microscope. I just want to give the illusion that it has those colors to it without taking the whole time to color the whole thing in. So we're going to use our light Lemon Lime Twist, and I have my workspace covered because we are using Stampin' Blends markers, and they're alcohol based. And we're just going to color in specific parts of the microscope. So just around here. And this also helps with if you're doing card swaps with friends or just making a mass amount of these projects. You don't have to color in the whole entire thing. It helps with that. Right, so right around here, Lemon Lime Twist. And then Blueberry Bushel, we're just going to color in this circle that you adjust the microscope with. We're going to color in the little lenses down here. this attachment point, and then this little circle right here. And that's it. So we're not coloring in the entire thing, just little bits of it to give the illusion of it being lemon lime twist and blueberry bushel. This is gonna go on with Stampin' Dimensionals. This is gonna connect our top piece here, and that's really gonna help just kind of ground it a little bit more. It's not super flimsy, but when you're missing a whole chunk of the card here, it does tend to have a little bit thinner feeling to it. So with that piece of die cut there, it'll kind of really cement it just a little bit more. Now we're only gonna add dimensionals to the top and bottom of this. We don't want to add any to the middle, or it's going to show through our window sheet on the back side. So just 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and that's going to go right over our window sheet there. Now it is going to cover up some of that blue, I don't even know what that little thing is called, but it's going to cover that up, but that's okay because when you open it, it's meant to be like a little surprise piece there. And then as our final touch, we're going to add some of the blue tinsel gems to the card, and we're going to do 3 of the small ones. So 1 there in the corner, and then 2 down here. That is our third project today, featuring the It's a Science stamp set. I love this one. This one and the first card are my 2 favorite this week. The window card, the window sheet really just makes it kind of pop there, and it is very fun to be able to send these cards out. All right, let's bring in our 3 projects that we worked on today. Let me know in the comments down below which one is your favorite. We have, actually we'll do it this way today, so they're all vertical cards. So we have our black with the atoms, we have the soft shimmer berry burst, and we have our window sheet peekaboo card. So let me know which one is your favorite. Like I said, probably one of these 2 is my favorite here today. Love the soft shimmer, love the bright and bold with the peekaboo. It's always fun to create something different. So let me know which one is your favorite we created here today. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining me for another week of Makers Monday. Don't forget that 24-hour stamp sale is coming in this Wednesday. If you use my host code and place a $50 order, you get this week's Makers Monday projects, plus the free tinsel gems, plus a bonus days coupon to use in August. So a win-win-win-win for you in savings. So I hope you guys all have a great week. I will see you next week for another week of Makers Monday. And until then, have an amazing week.